Pisces. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Pisces collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got going on for Pisces, gang? What do you have for us in early May 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Pisces in early May. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. Ask and you shall receive, and we got it. So we have this nice page energy, which I usually really like. I always say that pages there's a youthful vibrance to them. And this one always reminds me of the Page of Pentacles. Even though we're working with an oracle, this isn't a tarot deck, it just screams Page of Pentacles to me. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this. So we see this youthful looking individual, looks like they're playing a lute or some sort of instrument, big yin yang right on the head, and the rainbow coming out of this. Now, this is great for creativity. And everyone knows water signs, specifically Pisces, all have that nice creative streak within them, that it's usually very good and very cathartic to put your energy, mind, and emotions into different sort of creative outlets. And this tells us the same. But when I look at more of the Page of Pentacles, it's about learning. So whether it's like new chapters, new evolutions, new endeavors, new things that I'm trying, and maybe there's information I'm trying to lock inside my brain. The Page of Pentacles is all about that. It is a big student, but it's also a messenger, right? So when I see this version, it's like I'm speaking eloquently. I'm saying something and I'm choosing the right words to say. So it's very intriguing that we do have this communication aspect right here in the front. Now, what might be the downside to page energy? Since it is youthful, it could represent something in the very early stages, new chapters, new cycles. Pages are also an energy that can be very shy and suppressive, where it's like, I want to do this, maybe I don't. Well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. So watch out for the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But we're just going to let him chill over there. He could keep playing that lute. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Pisces, gang. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Massive Offer. So there was this energy around communication where there offer or opportunity coming in for a lot of Pisces. And even if it hasn't happened, whether it was work-related, personal relationships-related, that could still be coming up because the energy can bleed over for a couple of weeks. So yeah, there was something around like a message, a communication, or an offer coming in, which felt good. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So we take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Pisces, gang. What do you have for us in early May? Thank you. Cool. 3 swords. Okay. Noted. Doesn't ruin the reading. Don't worry about that. Especially like with the 3 of swords, it could represent another person's energy, that's for sure. I always say that about 3s. Like, it might not necessarily be you. Let's see. 9 of swords. Okay, lots of swords. There was another sign this week that had a ton of swords. I think it potentially was Taurus. Let's see. Let's get one more here. What do we got for Pisces? Cool. 2 of cups. Yeah, so this could be coming off of someone else, that's for sure. All right, and that seems to be a very common theme I've been seeing throughout the whole entire zodiac, where it's like, hey, there's some energies, like outer energies, that could be stirring the pot or causing like energetic reverberations. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, there's a lot of internal energy this week, so that kind of makes me happy that we had the page in the front, because that tells us how we could transmute it. But elementally, and you know I love to look at them because it frames the reading, we're predominantly air with a little water. The thing that these 2 elements share in common is that they're both internal, right? Whereas like when we come to the swords, that is very logical, pragmatic, strategic, planned out. It's about gathering information. So similar to that page in the beginning where it's like information, information, information. You might be diving down rabbit holes or trying to figure things out, learning things. Um, I love the pragmatism, and I love the logic and intelligence that I get off the swords, but it does tie heavily into the thought process, the mind. And when we get to the downside of the swords, it can represent overthinking, can represent dwelling. It's a bit of a stress inducer. It could also uh, there could be like a flightiness to the swords. It's a very quick moving energy. There's an edge to it, so it could sometimes be cold and detached. So we want to keep an eye on it. Then over here we have water. Good. This is the Pisces power element. That's the Pisces comfort zone. So water is all that matters of the heart, right? So we have like the heart and mind, heart, mind. Remember, I was already saying, watch the 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Should I, should I not? There's like this weighing of something potentially. But when it comes to the water, it's matters of emotion, things, people, situations that we're emotionally invested in, that we care about. Water does tie heavily into partnerships. It could be the creative aspect as well. Remember, so like the creativity, the emotional expression. But the downside to water is sometimes it could get a little too intense. Now, luckily, Pisces is very adept at working through water energy, but it can sometimes be overwhelming. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we have our first clue that we have other people's energy with the Three of Swords and the Two of Cups on the back end, but we do have the Three of Swords, one of the most iconic uh, cards in the whole entire deck. I'm sure everyone, even newer tarot enthusiasts, have seen this a million times, right? The three swords cutting through the heart. Awesome looking image right there. And I always say that it's on a spectrum. Sometimes it could be something extremely minor. Sometimes it could be something a little more major. Now, when I see the Three of Swords in its easiest form, it could just be a little gloomy. So, for some Pisces, you might be feeling a little more down or a little more lethargic or a little gloomy about something. But it can also ramp up into like full blown brokenheartedness or, panic and all this wild stuff. So, we just need to see where it lays on the spectrum. Now, the fact that it is a three, all threes in tarot represent group dynamics, not just one person, not just two, other people. That's why I'm saying, like, could this be coming from somebody else? Could this be someone else going through a difficult time? Potentially. We just need to really see what's up with it to really make that decision. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Nine of Swords. So, this is also another bit of a ramped up type of energy, right? And I always say it's one of those cards where you don't really need to be an expert in tarot to understand what it means. We have this person, they're sitting up in bed, hands on the face, they can't sleep for whatever reason. Now, there are good aspects to this. It is a card of really strong energetic sensitivity and empathy. So just know if you're the type where you feel the energies, this feels a little more ramped up. So you might be feeling the energies a little more. This card also links to the paranormal. So you might be having some paranormal experiences with this card. But plain and simple, it's a card that's stressing, overthinking, anxious, nervous, having a hard time sleeping. So I'm not going to say like, hey, Pisces, like get better sleep because I know how it goes, right? When you have some insomnia, when there's something bothering you, it can be difficult to have a solid night. But there could be someone losing some sleep here. So we'll take a look at it. So this combination up front is definitely what has our eye. Someone could be going through a tough one. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Two of Cups. The energy does lighten up in a very good, positive way. We have probably the best two out of all of them, right? Um, Now, the cups themselves do represent love, care, emotion, and partnerships. This card, in and of itself, also represents partnerships. I see this, I think of soul ties, soul connections, soul bonds, which is a beautiful thing. Now, all twos could be decisions or choices. Generally, this one is making the right choice, making the right move, but it does represent a very strong bond. So there's two areas within this reading already where it's like, all right, we're seeing someone else's energy, and we also have the empathy and like the energetic sensitivity. So again, you might want to protect the energy in this time, especially if you're very sensitive to it. But I love the Two of Cups because it's smooth, it's expressive, it cares. It's an energy where they're talking, they're getting something off their chest. It's an energy that understands. The downside with the Two of Cups is when there's someone that you normally get along with, or there's someone that's normally there for you, where you're just not on the same frequency or vibration. So I want to dive deeper on all of this, Pisces. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Pisces gang? in early May. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Three of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Pisces, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Three of Swords here? Why is that Three of Swords here? Thank you. Oh, okay. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse. Like, it's something that could have potentially already happened. And again, it's another card of soul ties, soul connections. All right, the Six of Cups, Two of Cups, very similar. Now, when I do see the Six of Cups in reverse, that can normally represent something popping back up or returning. I did see that in the Pisces reading maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So in this time, watch out for things, situations, thought processes, anything that might re-inflame or come back up, because there is this vibe where it's like, oh, I thought I dealt with it, now I have to deal with it again. It's like, I've dealt with this, now I got to deal with it again. It's like something that returns in a way. Now, doesn't mean it's bad just because it's linked underneath the Three of Swords. I mean, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but to me it's like potentially unfinished business too, right? Like with the Three of Swords and the Six of Cups, it's like, no, there's still something that I need to figure out. There's still something that I want to address. There's still something that I don't quite understand that doesn't compute. So for a lot of Pisces in this time, there could be a whole spectrum or variety of things, especially things that feel like unfinished business that might get in the back of your mind, where it's like, no, I gotta sort this out somehow. Like I need some closure. Pardon me, my throat just got a little frog in it. So we're going to keep moving. That does feel like unfinished business or something flaring back up. But we're going to go in on the Nine of Swords. We're just going to keep it moving. There are some really strong specific themes, especially with the three. Now the Six of Cups, Two of Cups. It's like a lot of other people here. So let's go in on the Nine of Swords. See what that has. Really want to get to the two, because that's going to give us maybe potentially a resolution. But why is the Nine of Swords here? Good. Yeah, this energy, it's just something that's not quite sitting right with me when I see this. So we have Temperance in reverse underneath the Nine of Swords. It's like, yeah, no, something's just, it's not sitting right. Something doesn't sound right about it, or just something feels off about this. So again, we have the unfinished business and all that kind of stuff. But Temperance is a card of spiritual protection. So I do have to say this, even in reverse, it has the Archangel Michael on it. So this is always a very good sign, even in reverse, where it's like you are being watched over, you are being protected, you are not alone, you are not alone. That's something I love about this. Again, big Saggy vibes. But what is temperance? Usually very much at peace, right? It's an energy that has a nice calm center. It's at peace. When I see it in reverse underneath a Nine of Swords, it's like, this is bothering me. So again, watch out for a variety of situations where it's like, I don't think it's the end of the world, but at the same time, it's like, I need to figure this out, or I need to make sense of this. So we're gonna keep going. It is what it is, right? I think it's a very simple, straightforward thing. But we'll see what's up with the Two of Cups. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Two of Cups here? For my beautiful Piscean people. Good. Cool. Good. All right, this is good. This makes me happy. All right, so we got Lady Justice in the upright underneath the Two of Cups. The balance. The balance. That's nice. So whether this is someone that comes in that assists, someone that comes in that helps and works as a guide of sorts, that could really help. Lady Justice is fair. Lady Justice is balanced. Lady Justice makes sure things are fair and divvied up properly. Big Libra vibes. And especially with all the stuff we've been seeing about connections and then this and that and other people's energy, the fact that she comes in the upright underneath the Two of Cups does come into a beautiful type of balance. But to me, this could be the closure potentially. So for a lot of Pisces, there could be various situations where it's like, okay, I got the information I was looking for. I got the closure I was looking for. I got the information I was seeking. The questions that were in the back of my mind, I finally received it. Again, this doesn't have to be your energy. It could be somebody else receiving that. But I love Lady Justice here. She is very karmic in nature. So again, whether it's a karmic connection, karmic situation, I do feel a good result in the end. I do. Yeah, so even if you are going through something right now that is not looking too hot, not feeling too good, Two of Cups, Lady Justice, it's like everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything will be okay. So it's like there's a big reassurance here, especially with Temperance right next to it as well. So this is the solution. This is the positive conclusion that we're picking up here on the back end. So I like it. Um, but it still doesn't feel like the end of the road, if that makes sense. I don't mean that in like an ominous foreboding type of way. To me, it's like, okay, case closed, but it's not the end of the road. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So very intriguing, a lot of very specific stuff. Obviously, you only take what hits for you. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Three of Swords, Six of Cups in reverse. This did feel like something popping back up or like coming back around. So again, whether it was a situation, a person, or something, it's like, here we go again. Um, this can absolutely represent unfinished business as well. So again, whether it's you or somebody else, something feels unfinished to me. Moving to the center, we have the Nine of Swords with Temperance in reverse. Same exact thing, where it's like this is bothering me. It's like sticking in the back of my mind. It's sticking with me. Beautiful spiritual protection here, but it does link exactly with this unfinished business or unfinished situation. Moving to the back end, though, we do get some sense of closure, whether there's information I was looking for, insight, uh, understanding, whatever it might be. It does come in because there's this energy that comes in that either assists or gives what one is looking for, which I think is beautiful. So there's a good conclusion where it's like, okay, case closed, but it's not the end of the road. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay. Let's get a good shuffle here for Pisces, gang. What's happening for my good friends? And yes, I always love to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, the energetic sensitivity like through the roof this week, Pisces. So in the shadows, we do have a Pisces power card. We got our beautiful friend, the High Priestess, the psychic intuitive, the matron of psychics, intuitives, tarot readers. Uh, very subtle energy, very soft energy, but she is also extremely empathetic, intuitive, and paranormal in nature. So again, it does tie in. Now, since it is a Pisces power card, there could be things about like how you view yourself, how you treat yourself, self-confidence, and all that kind of stuff. But to me, she does more so link to the unseen energies, the mysterious energies, because she does keep things very quiet. So in this time, there may be like an inner searching or lingering that's happening when she shows up in the shadows. She can be secretive sometimes. And this isn't to say like, hey, Pisces, you got to keep this a secret. I'm not saying anything like that. To me, the biggest thing that's jumping out to me is the energetic sensitivity. Not what you could see and what you could touch. It's what you can't see and what you can't touch. That is my big focus here. So just keep that in mind. We're just going to put her down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My May calendar is up and the spots go quick, so you might want to check it out. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to win either a copy of the Tarot of the Owls, beautiful deck, and it's really nice, or 3 custom-made pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments, out of the cards that showed up in this week's reading, which one caught your attention most or resonated with you most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in the Posts tab. My friends, much love, and I'll talk to you soon.